It is already episode 2. Can you believe it?
No.
Right? It's
Crazy.
crazy. Crazy talk. Crazy, crazy talk. We are about to launch into all discussion about Festival of the Arts over the course of the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, in honor of that, Candice, our cold open question of the day today is, what is your favorite piece of Disney art, either that you've seen or that you own?
I have to say that I am really a fan of the picture that we have in our guest room on my ear wall, where it's the black and white drawing of Mickey actually drawing a photo of Walt.
Yes, that one's cool.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably my favorite. What about you?
My favorite Disney art that we own is my picture of the Fab Five golfing.
That makes sense.
That's in my office. I adore that. It's so bright and colorful. It's really. Is it the Fab Five? Minnie's not there. It's Goofy, Donald, Pluto, and Mickey, right?
Yeah.
So it's those four. Donald's mad because he missed the putt. Mickey's making the putt. I don't know what they're all doing, but it's just a fun picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love what we've done in our bar. Speaking of EPCOT,
Yes.
we have different posters from around World Showcase that are framed and hung on the wall in our bar, and I think that's pretty cool. I'm sure lots of people have it because they sold those posters on Shop Disney, but I just kind of love what we did with that room.
Mm-hmm. We're very much drinking around the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so today's going to be all about the Festival of the Arts. Next week, we're going to jump into menus and kind of what we would order and what we would skip, like we've done in the past. But this episode is all about just introducing you to the festival. If I remember correctly, it starts on January 19th?
16th.
16th. Mm-hmm. So when this episode releases, we're already 3 days into the festival.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to hear about our menu choices until a few days into the festival, which is fine. When we're recording this, they haven't even released the menus yet, so we couldn't tell you about them if we wanted to.
Correct. And I will say this is the shortest of the EPCOT festivals. It only runs through February 23rd this year.
Wow, that is pretty short.
So,
okay, grab a drink, take a look at your favorite Disney piece of art, and join us for the ride. Hey, welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
And I'm Candice. We're here to chat all things Disney as child-free Disney adults. Stories, snacks, and a little magic along the way.
Grab a drink and get comfy and come hang out with us. Okay, Candice.
Yes.
What is the Festival of the Arts? And
So,
it's taking all
I
of my
know.
power not to say what I want to say.
I know. So it is a multifold art experience.
Okay.
So we have the visual arts with vibrant artwork. We have auditory art with dazzling entertainment, and culinary arts with palate-pleasing cuisine.
Okay.
As we spoke about in the open, it is running this year from January 16th through February 26th. And some of the favorite things that they're bringing back is the Disney on Broadway concert series, which also does have some dining packages available. And just from our experience at the 2024 Holiday Festival, I would highly recommend doing one of those dining packages. If there's a concert you want to go to, get your reservations made for a dining package so that you can have priority seating, because those standby seating lines for the right thing
ridiculous
stretch to infinity and beyond, I swear.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. There's also an exhibit, which I would assume is going to be in Communicore Hall because that's where it's been in past years.
Okay.
But it's Once Upon a Stage, The Magic of Disney on Broadway. So they're going to have costumes and things like that from the various productions. There's also an Animation Academy experience where you learn how to draw a Disney character led by an animator.
Oh, so kind of like what they do over in the affection section over at Animal Kingdom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then, of course, you have the delicious food kiosks. And then you also have the expression section the big mural where you get to have little paint pots and you paint 5 squares or whatever of that color. And then you get a bookmark to commemorate the mural that you had a hand in painting, which I thought was a lot of fun when we did it.
Yeah, I do too.
There's Figment's Brush with the Master's Scavenger Hunt, where you go buy a card for probably $10 or $11.
Okay.
And you find all the Figments, put a sticker on a map, and then you get a completer prize when it's all said and done. There's a kids' chalk art section where kids can go get chalk for sidewalks and draw pictures.
Are they also at that same place doing like the fancy chalk art, like having artists come in and do their own?
They are, yes. Mm-hmm. And then there's the chalk characters that are
on the buildings.
Yes.
And, that you go search for. That's another thing you can search
They're not really
for,
chalk,
right?
but it's okay.
What do they use?
They're stickers.
Are they?
Yes. But they look like chalk, so it's...
We should have done a not safe for magic tag before that.
You can kind of tell if you look at them, though.
Yeah.
And then there's the artful photo ops where you can actually walk into the paintings and become part of that piece of art, which I think are really cool.
Did we do any of those when we were there?
Mm-mm. No, we didn't, but keep in mind that... No, I wasn't sick that time. I was sick for the holidays. But we had a lot going on.
We did.
Because we were with a big group when we were there for this festival. Then there's going to be the different artists that have their booths out and are working on actual pieces while they're there. And then different music performances in Communicore Plaza.
Okay.
So,
and it's the musical things that happen in Communicore Plaza, is that different than what happens at like the Disney on Broadway concert series that happens in the America's Gardens Theater?
Mm-hmm.
Have they released any of the Broadway performers yet?
No.
Okay. So if they've released that by the time we record the food one, we'll try and remember to update you with some of who those performers are. But again, this one is more about festival overview and how to approach the festival. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that a little bit. We'll get into food here in a little bit, just like how we budget and that kind of thing for that. But let's talk about how much there is to do at this festival. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Like, this one has more going on than most of the other festivals. Mm-hmm. Because you have all those art booths, you have the food booths, you have the sidewalk chalk, you have the performances. Like, this is a festival that has a lot going on.
Right. And again, it's visual art is a big part of it. So there's a lot to see. A lot to see.
Yeah. And this is one of those festivals where if you were to get into EPCOT, it does require a park ticket.
Yes.
The same park ticket doesn't require an extra ticket or anything like that for the festival.
Nope.
But if you were to get into EPCOT and not ride a single attraction, you still couldn't see and do all the things that are just associated with the festival.
100%.
That's crazy talk.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking back to when we were there for the Festival of the Arts a couple years ago. I'm trying to think back to what my favorite things about that festival were. A lot of it was like going into the different like kiosks where they had art that you could buy. And if you're thinking about budgeting,
go on the high end.
Go on the high end if you're thinking about budgeting for art specifically, because they have little postcard sized pictures, they have poster sized pictures or prints, but they also have original artist canvas signed by artist. Sometimes you can watch the artist sign the piece that you buy. Mm-hmm. Next time we go to this festival, I'm going to try and set aside a pretty hefty sum to buy a piece of art.
Okay.
Like, I have to decide where we would put it so I know what I'm looking for, that kind of thing. But I want to put aside, like, I want something artist signed that I got from this festival. I think that would be so cool.
Yes. Also, this is the same festival where they show off those absolutely stunning tables that have like the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs characters marching through, and the Beauty and the Beast table and all of those. And I don't like coffee tables, so that's kind of a non-event for us. But I think like an entryway table or a sideboard or something like that would be really cool. Yeah. And those are beyond budget.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have more money than sense to buy some of those things, but...
Which someday, hopefully.
Yeah. Speaking of, we have a Patreon kitten.
We'll even put a little plaque with your name on it right on the table.
Right. We should just make that one of our levels on Patreon. Like, give us $20,000 and you'll get a plaque on the table that we buy.
And we'll take a picture and send it to you.
Right.
We can call that our Be Our Guest level.
Right. Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. Okay, so how do you go about planning a Festival of the Arts trip? How do you decide what's important and what's not?
That is so subjective because art means different things to different people.
Right.
And it really depends on what part of those three things you want to spend the most time on.
Right.
Like if you're going into it just as another food festival, super. Do the food booths. But if there's an actual performance that you want to see, you have to budget for that as far as time.
Right.
As we were talking about, if there's a Disney on Broadway performer that you want to see, budget for the dining package or the dining.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a package.
Yeah, the dining package.
Where you have dinner and then have priority seating for the concert.
Right.
Because otherwise you might not get in. And that's, yeah, you can stand back and watch, but
yeah,
wouldn't you rather sit and watch?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And so let's break this down a couple different ways. If you want to prioritize, we'll get into food last. So if you want to prioritize on a festival day, kind of doing some of the festival stuff, but still prioritize it being a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
So I would very much plan to probably rope drop.
Okay.
Go in first thing in the morning. Get your front of the park stuff done first, like where most of the attractions are.
Go to Guardians, do
Guardians,
Soarin'.
do Living with the Land, do
Right.
that kind of thing first. Have as much of that done by 11 as you can. And then move into World Showcase and have the majority and the rest of your day there.
Right. And here's like a hot little tip. Even if you're prioritizing attractions and that kind of thing during the festivals, there is nothing that gets in the way of you stopping at a festival booth in France and getting a bite to eat and a drink before you get into line at Remy.
Not at all.
Pick up a couple of things to if you got a 65, 70, 75-minute wait, grab a drink and a couple bites and take them with you into line.
Especially if you're headed to Remy and the food booths, and again, we haven't seen menus yet, but I
Right.
can only hope that if they have that delicious brioche bread roll
With the cheese.
loaded with the brie cheese and that delicious raspberry, cranberry martini situation
Yep.
that we had. Breakfast of Champions. And I
Yes.
will fight people that try and say that it's not.
Yes.
But, I mean, there's nothing saying that you can't enjoy that in line.
Right.
As long
Yeah.
as you're not obnoxious and spilling it all over everybody.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. And I think when people talk about wanting to do it all, sometimes that's how you have to do it if you want to try and do it all, and I'm using air quotes, is I want to taste some of the festival food. Okay, so pick some of it up and stand in line. Because if you just say, nope, I'm not taking food into line with me, or I'm not taking a drink into line with me, you're going to miss out on all of the booths. You're not going to be able to stop in and see any of the art. You're like some of those things that you can do. So you can do both. You can prioritize. I think that's the biggest tip is prioritize, like you said, what you want to do. And it's not just all about the festival. It's still a theme park.
Right. Now, with that said, with you saying take things in line and all of these other things, please make sure that you are being respectful and responsible for cast members. And if they say, I'm sorry, you have to finish that by a certain point, or you can't take that in, or you can't do this, and like, please be mindful around the artwork.
Yep.
With food, drink, whatever. Don't open up room for an accident.
Right. Yeah, don't open up room for an accident, and don't make a cast member tell you twice.
Right. And be respectful.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to prioritize the visual arts, How do you go about doing that the best way?
Well, as for all of the festivals that they do at EPCOT, you're going to have a festival passport available.
Mm-hmm.
No additional charge for those. They're in the app, or you can grab a little paper version, which is my preference. And it has the schedules of everything and where you can find them. And just build out a schedule for yourself. Like if you don't happen to be working with a travel professional, which you should, and I'm not just saying that but I think you should, they can help you put those schedules together.
Yep.
Because that information is released in more depth sometimes even than online sources.
Right.
But they can help build out those schedules so that you get to see what you want to see and be in the area to do some of the things that you want to do.
Right. Yeah, and this is where I would give a little bit of a tip of those photo pass spots with the artwork that you step into. Prioritize those. Get the photo pass plus or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. So you can just swipe your magic band and you get those pictures included, and then take the opportunity. If you're prioritizing the visual arts, put yourself in those visual arts and prioritize that, because those pictures can sometimes turn out pretty cool. We've done like one at the holiday party at Magic Kingdom that I thought was one of our better pictures. Mm-hmm. So I think just do those kind of things. Make sure you go over and you get your paint and paint on the mural. Like, be active instead of just passively looking through all the booths and that kind of thing. Be active in those visual arts because they give you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, make yourself a part of the experience and make yourself a part of the piece.
Go on a scavenger hunt for all the little different characters or the figments or that kind of thing that are out there. And that's how you really live into the visual arts piece of that. And we've talked about it a little bit. So how do you prioritize then what's the musical part of it? The
auditory arts.
The auditory arts. How do you, other than the dining packages, are there ways that you can sort of live into that more if that's what you want to prioritize?
If that's what you want to prioritize, I would definitely say schedule yourself around those, which again is going to be in your festival passport, and not so much about attractions or food that might be around.
Right.
Like, just focus yourself on what you want to see and hear.
Right. In the Festival of the Holidays at EPCOT, they have storytellers in each pavilion. Mm-hmm. Do they have anything like that in the Festival of the Arts?
They have artists and things like that, and it's usually like local to that region.
Okay.
But they don't have like a stage set up with like different musical acts and everything. It's just
some of the like Canada will have music. Mm-hmm. America Garden Theater will
Germany
have Germany might have their
music,
stage,
but most of the other stuff it's going to be and then like
China has their
Mariachi Cobra is going to be in Mexico because they're there all the time.
Yeah, but
there's going to be more visual arts in the other places that don't have stages or regular performers.
Yeah, and check out who all is going to be in the space, the Communicore Plaza, as well. See who's going to be performing there. They get some pretty good musicians in that space as well. So, like, they're not going to be the big name people that are in the Broadway series generally.
They're still talented. I mean, they're working for Disney. Hello.
Yeah,
and don't forget about Voices of Liberty.
Right. I can't believe you're suggesting that.
I know. But, I mean, that's something that you can see pretty much anytime, but it's still art.
Right. Yeah, and if that's what you're prioritizing.
Right.
Prioritize it all. Mm-hmm. Like, here's my hot tip for you prioritizing those auditory arts is be in the moment with those. Like, go into Voices of Liberty and get there early enough that you can get that front row seat in the circle. Mm-hmm. So you're like, prioritize if that's what you want to do. Truly prioritize it. Get pay extra for the dining package so you get a really good seat for the Broadway show. Mm-hmm. Spend the extra time to get a front row seat at Mariachi Cobra and truly live into that and be in those moments. I think sometimes at Disney, folks have a tendency to be like, okay, I've experienced this for 3 minutes. What's next? Versus this is a 10-minute show or a 20-minute show or a 30-minute show. I'm just going to be here the whole time. Mm-hmm. I think our brains have a tendency to be like, I paid a lot of money to get in here. What's next? But if you're prioritizing something, make sure you're really prioritizing it.
Well, and I think we've talked about the importance of that before and have mourned the fact that a lot of it is going away. But there's a reason that a lot of it is going away.
Mm-hmm.
Live entertainment in the Disney parks is kind of what makes Disney Disney.
Yep.
And if people don't stick around and listen and be appreciative of what is there and how hard those people work, because that's a lot of work.
It is.
But it's going to go away more.
Yeah.
So help the company overall understand that performance art is an art and it's something that needs to stick around.
Yep. Yeah, because if they continue down the path of deprioritizing actual artists, they're just going to become like any other theme park.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, our podcast is going to be like Six Flags is closer.
Oh, no.
Worlds of Fun is closer.
No. Mm-mm. No.
I just made Candice squirm a little bit.
No.
But you're right. That's truly the cast members and the live entertainment is what makes Disney Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So help them know that that's what needs to be prioritized.
Right.
It's not about the number of rides you go on. Disney has never been about the best roller coasters.
Mm-mm.
They've always been about the best story. Good thing, Universal's catching up on storytelling, which means that Disney is going to have to stay on their A game. And some of the, again, we talked about it in the last episode, some of the concept art we've seen about the Central America land over in Animal Kingdom looks freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
From a story perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a theming perspective. And Disney's going to really have to lean into the story to keep their competitive advantage and for folks to be like, yep, that's still what makes Disney Disney.
Yep.
Okay. So let's jump into, again, we don't have the menus, but let's talk about menu strategy.
Okay.
So this is for Festival of the Arts, but some of this will hold true for all of the festivals, I think. But first and foremost, for Festival of the Arts, remember, it's about the visual too. You're not going to get your best food at this festival.
Right.
You're going to get your prettiest food
Mm-hmm.
at this festival.
And those don't always match up.
Right. Especially when they're being mass-produced.
Yes.
Because pretty doesn't hold well.
No.
In a lot of cases.
No, it doesn't.
So that's where I think that's one of the things I want to talk about from how to decide what to order is just know it's going to be elevated theme park food for sure,
mm-hmm.
but it's not going to be 5-star Michelin type food
Mm-mm.
that you're getting at this festival.
Mm-mm.
So how Candice, do you decide what to order at this festival or any festival, I guess?
So a lot of it is kind of strategy based in that most of the things don't open up until 11
Mm-hmm.
when World Showcase opens up. So you have to think about that you're as much planning as you can do. You're never going to get to all the food booths in one day.
Right.
Well, you might, but you shouldn't probably.
Well, going back to influencers that we watch about the festivals, like one of them that we watch is All Ears. They have a team of 6 people to get through all the booths in one day.
Mm-hmm.
You as a couple or as a small family are not going to be able to get all the food at all the booths in one day.
Right.
Just don't set yourself up for failure.
Right. And then the other part of it, I think, is to review the menus before you go.
Yes.
And kind of earmark some of those things that are must tastes for you.
Right.
When I'm planning my menu strategy, I don't necessarily go for the heaviest, most robust dish. I want the thing that sounds best to me, not something that's going to make me oogie in what could be potentially Florida heat.
Right. Right.
Like, seafood dishes are just not where it's at for me most of the time.
If you're going to get a seafood dish, this festival probably is one of the good ones to do it because it's not going to be as hot.
Correct.
A shrimp ceviche in July hits different than a shrimp ceviche in February.
Well, now ceviche is typically served cold because it's pickled. So
Right.
that's okay. But something like a stew.
Right. A fish
Like
chowder.
a seafood stew. I can't. Let's move on.
And we don't even know what's on the menu and we're already grossing ourselves out. Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Decide when. This is not one of those times to go in without a plan.
No.
Because if you do that, you're going to get to Mexico. You're going to walk up to the booth. You're going to read the menu. You're going to be like, ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'm going to get that, and that. And then you're going to go to the next booth that over from there and be like, ooh, those 3 things sound good. And you're going to make it to Norway, and you're going to be so full you have to go back to the hotel.
Either that or you've completely broken your budget for the day.
Right.
Because this stuff is not cheap, folks.
Right.
You're looking probably at $9 to $12 for a tasting.
Right.
Of what you're going to get. And granted, the portions are generous. You can share them, which is another tip.
Yes.
Share what you get from the booths, but just go into it knowing that you're not going to be able to have everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and do some planning ahead of time to be like, these are my must-haves from this country. And then from there, what I would suggest is timing. This is something I don't think we've done very good at when we've been in the festivals. We've not said, okay, here's what I want to eat, and I think I want that at dinner time. It's always been I want that to eat whenever we happen to walk by.
Well, and that brings up another really good point. If you're going to be in EPCOT and you're going to be doing these food booth situations, I don't necessarily think that you need to have lunch plans or dinner plans in addition to the food booths because there is plenty to go around and you'll get full.
Right. Yeah, and that sort of jumps into what my next question was, is what do you consider to be snacks versus what do you consider to be like, okay, that's meal worthy?
I would say some of the heavier dishes, like those big beef dishes like they have most often in Canada, or that awful pork thing that we had with no, that was terrible. But some of those heavier dishes like that are basically focused around protein are going to be more the meal options, whereas the snacks are like the cookies or the sweet treats.
Right. Okay. Some of the salady kind of things.
Yeah.
And again, I think some of that is if you are able to pick out what you want to eat and then sort of think about, okay, these things from Germany, from whatever the hell else is around there, there's 3 or 4 things that I want to try from that general area. Let's try and get over there at lunchtime. And we're going to get all of those, and we're going to make ourselves a buffet. Like if there's more than one of you, split up and go to different booths and get the things that you want to try and bring it back to the general location, and then you can try kind of everything. Versus, I'm Japan, I want to try that, but it's only one thing. Make that a snackable time. Make that 2:00 in the afternoon, 3:00 in the afternoon, or whatever, and then be like, okay, Italy, France, and America. I know those aren't really all that close together, but these are things that I think I want to have at dinner time because they're a little bit heavier. Okay, let's pick someplace in the middle. Let's split up and let's go get 2 or 3 plates each and then meet back up here to try everything together and make that our meal time and really kind of live into that. I think that is how I kind of would break things up a little bit. That's something I don't think we've done. We've always just sort of, the other thing we've done is we make a really good list of what we want to try, and then we forget to reference the list. But because that's the other thing to do is just don't expect your memory to work in the moment.
Right.
We probably should have printed out our list instead of leaving it in a Word document.
Yeah.
because it would have been easier to reference.
Right.
Right. So I think that's next time lessons we've learned is, yes, we have the things that are on our, we're going to rank it 1, 2, 3, and 4 from least likely to most likely that we have to have it. And then those things that are that category 4, put them on a list that you print out so you're not disappointed that you didn't get to it.
Right.
That just a little bit of tips from how we are going to probably festival next time we go to a festival. So let's talk a little bit about how that leads then into how do you budget for festival food? Because you mentioned it can be a lot, and there's a lot that you're going to want to try. So how does your ranking system of your food, and then how does that play into your budget as well?
So I think if you plan on any plate being anywhere in the range between $10 and $15,
Okay.
probably more as the year progresses, just because everything is going up all the time, it seems.
Right.
But if you make your lists, and for your category 4, if that's the items that you absolutely must have, if you budget for those things, and then maybe half of your level 3 items at the same price point, and make sure that you're building in your drinks that you want to try as well, because those are going to be just as expensive, if not more so. So mark those as well, and rank those as well, and then build your budget off of that.
Right.
And if you haven't budgeted for the level 2 and 1 items,
don't get them.
You don't need them.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing that I would say is...
Oh, and then, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then with your budget, buy Disney gift cards.
Yeah.
And do that before you leave, or load it up on one of the cute little festival gift cards when you get there, because then you've also got a built-in souvenir.
Right. Disney is very good at parting people from their money.
100%.
They've made a science out of getting you to spend the maximum amount that they possibly can. So if you just go into this with the idea of, I'm going to run across things that I just want to try, and I'm just going to swipe my magic band, unless you get an alert on your phone that says, hey, you just spent $400 in World Showcase at Disney, you're not going to know how much you spent until after you get home. Disney is expensive. Even for a family of 2 to go stay on property, to get into the park, you're looking at an expensive day. You add on top of that a food budget. Make sure you know what your food budget is before you get there, which is where the gift card comes in. Is you say, I have $400 I want to spend on food for this festival. I'm a family of 2. That I don't think we could probably blow through $400, but let's make it a more realistic budget amount. We want to spend $100 per person on food. At $10 a plate, that's not very much food.
No.
That's not stopping at every booth.
No.
So that's $200 total for the day. You put that $100 each on a gift card, or on one gift card that you strap to your wrist or whatever. When that is gone, it's gone.
Or you're going to know that, hey, I need to go add more money. And if that's in your financial wheelhouse, do it. You do you. But it's going to be that stopgap thing where it's like, okay, I've spent what I've said I originally wanted to say, or spend. And then it's up to you whether you want to spend more. And it's fine if you do, but it's fine if you don't. But at least there's that stop where you're not going to get a $400 bill at the end, like on your next credit card statement.
Right.
And it's just not going to end well.
Right, because that's when you leave saying that wasn't worth it.
Right.
If you go in and you spend what you expected to spend and made a decision to pay more, then you can decide whether that was a good decision or not. If you go in without making decisions and just blow the bank, you're going to walk out of there saying none of that was worth it.
Right. And I will also say that while you're budgeting for food booth items, I would also remind you that you need to budget for things that don't necessarily come from a food booth, like popcorn.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, there's something about walking by a Disney popcorn booth and smelling that delicious smell where I need popcorn.
Right.
And yet I'm not going to spend food festival money
Right.
for it.
And that's what I would say is if you're going to do that, have two food budgets. Like if you're going to plan on having, let's say you don't want to prioritize as much festival food. So you're like, let's have a big sit down lunch. Don't put that money on your gift card.
No.
The money on your gift card is only for festival food and drink. So if your plan is to go drink around the world, just put that money on your gift card. The food that you sit down at the restaurant and eat, that's separate budget. And again, a travel professional can help you plan all this out in the best possible way, but just make sure you're thinking about that. It is vitally important that you don't get surprised, because and we all know Disney is expensive and getting more expensive. I still think it's a good value. Like, you think about how much you go spend to watch a 3-hour movie versus how much you spend to spend a day in Disney World immersed in magic. I still think it's a good value. There's folks that are on the bridge where it's not. So you have to plan to make it worth the value. So what you spend, you have to determine if that's going to add value to your trip or not. And that holds true for festivals. That holds true for just your trip in general.
And I will say that you have to keep in mind that you are planning this trip for you and your family,
Right.
or you and the people that you're financially responsible for.
Right.
You cannot go into a trip at any time wanting to impress.
Right.
Or doing it for views or clicks or whatever the case may be, because if you financially endanger yourself, that's not fun for anybody. Who wants to do that? Who wants to deal with that?
Right.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, I know the first couple of episodes of this year we've been harping on influencers a little bit, but I think that's the other thing where I think influencers set unrealistic expectations. You have to remember those folks are being paid to do what you see them do.
Yes.
Whether it be through their Patreon, whether it be through Disney hosting them to talk about their events, however it is, whether it's just YouTube views that get financed, they are getting paid to go eat all that food, drink all those drinks. You are not being paid to do it. So your value prop is going to be different, because it's coming out of your pocket, not going into your pocket. To those influencers, everything they spend is a business expense. For you, it's a vacation expense. Those are two very different budgets. So make sure you are planning around that. And again, this is going to be my snarky opinion. Influencers are ruining Disney because they're setting the wrong expectations.
100%.
They're setting an expectation of you have to come in, and if you don't do this, it's not a Disney trip.
And it is, and it's just as wonderful as anything that they would ever dream of putting together.
Right.
Because they're not taking the time to notice the details. They're
Right.
not taking the time to have actual experiences
Right.
versus standing in line and taking your picture in front of a wall.
Right. Are you creating memories with your family? Are you creating memories for yourself? Are you living into the moments of magic that are there? Then that is 100% worth it. I've said this before in this podcast in previous seasons. If you think that getting on every attraction is the only way to add value to a Disney trip, you should go to Universal.
I agree.
That you're not going to have a good time at Disney if rides is your only key to value. You're not going to have a good time. That's not what Disney does best.
No.
Now, their rides are spectacular for what they are.
Most of them, yes.
But that's not what Disney does best.
No.
The story. The immersion.
It's a more all-encompassing immersion situation, and
Right.
not just in a transactional right on this, feel this way.
Stand in line, spend 3 minutes screaming, stand in a line, spend 3 minutes screaming. That's not who Disney is.
No.
That's not who Disney wants to be.
Never has been.
Right. That's not what Walt envisioned.
No. Thank you, Walt.
Yes. So, yeah, just I know we kind of went off the rails there just a little bit.
Surprise.
But let's end here. It's been a couple years since we were at the Festival of the Arts. What was your favorite moment of the Festival of the Arts?
Honestly, the mural painting. And it was just 5 little squares of color. But knowing that my artistry, that sounds very dramatic, but my artistry is hanging in a Disney building somewhere.
Right. Or it was.
Right.
For a while.
Right.
Yeah.
That means something to me.
Yeah.
And it took all of, less than 5 minutes. But it was still something that left part of me there.
Yeah. I use my bookmark that we picked up from there every day.
Yeah.
I got 2 of them. One is hanging on my pegboard, and one's in a book that I'm reading.
I think one's probably mine, but it's fine.
I just horked them both.
Horker.
They're being used.
Yes.
That's the important
They're
part.
living their purpose.
That's right. So, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. The people we were with
Yes.
really made that trip for me
Yes.
and that festival for me. And the fondue and the bread bowl.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. And that was also the first time we went on Remy, wasn't it? Yeah. And that's become one of my favorite attractions. Did you know they made that into a 2D now?
I did.
I'm interested to go back on it without the 3D glasses to see how different it is.
And it was also our first time at the beach club, and well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode down the road probably.
Yeah.
Because that resort spoiled us.
A lot.
We've talked about that ad nauseum. But yeah, so anything else that you want to talk about just in Festival of the Arts strategy or just the festival itself, knowing that next week we're going to jump into all the different foods and that kind of thing that people can expect to see?
Well, just knowing what I know, and I hesitate saying this because I don't want it to become like the other festivals. But again, it is the shortest of the EPCOT festivals, but it also falls in the time of the travel year where crowds are pretty minimal, especially during the week. And when I say during the week, Monday through Thursday. Once you hit Thursday afternoon, the weekend crowds start rolling in. So you might want to plan around that as well. But also the weather is absolutely delightful. I would still recommend layers because it does get chilly in the evening. Florida is always humid. And when the temperature gets down into the 50s, that humid cools off.
Right.
And it feels a lot colder than 50 degrees does anywhere else.
Yeah.
So layer up in the evenings, but it's a beautiful time of year to go. And I would highly recommend it because it's a beautiful, beautiful festival.
Yeah, agreed. It's one of my favorites. I enjoy it. I want to go back.
Okay.
Okay. Not this year.
No.
We've already said we're not this year. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. Tune in next week when we do get into all of the different foods that you should be trying at the Festival of the Arts. We love those episodes where we just get to explore the menus and be snarky about what we would eat and what we would not eat and what we would drink and not drink. We love those episodes, so hopefully you do too. Tune in for that one next week. And remember, there is always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.